During the 1940s, everyday life demanded a level of vigilance that, well, modern households rarely experience. Families faced not only economic hardships and wartime shortages, but also the constant threat of opportunistic intruders. Ordinary objects and household layouts were transformed into ingenious security solutions. These were not the flashy alarms or reinforced doors of today. These were subtle, clever hiding spots and practices designed to keep valuables safe from prying eyes while remaining completely invisible. Understanding these techniques provides a window into the resourcefulness of the past and offers strategies that can still be adapted for survival-focused living today. Families used false compartments inside furniture to conceal valuables. One of the most common techniques involved modifying everyday furniture to include hidden compartments. Chairs, tables, and bed frames were often altered so that drawers or panels concealed cash, documents, or jewelry. A simple example from the era was the double-bottom dresser drawer. By slightly raising the bottom panel and adding a false top layer, families created a space invisible to a casual search. The key to these compartments was subtlety. They were designed to blend seamlessly with the existing structure, with no gaps or unusual hardware that might draw attention. Modern enthusiasts can replicate this approach by using old wooden furniture to create secret storage spaces for emergency supplies, cash reserves, or important documents without alerting anyone to their presence. Households hid valuables inside everyday household items. The 1940s saw a surge in using inconspicuous objects as hiding vessels. Empty cans, loaves of bread, or jars were repurposed as safes. A common practice involved hollowing out soap bars or books to store small items. What made this effective was psychological invisibility. Burglars and intruders rarely suspected ordinary objects because they fit the daily household routine. Today, survivalists can take inspiration from this method. For example, creating waterproof compartments in canned goods or hollowing out containers in plain sight allows for storing survival tools or emergency rations without revealing their presence. Floors and ceilings became secret storage areas. Another strategy was to use structural elements of the home itself. Floorboards were lifted, and ceilings were accessed via removable panels to conceal valuables. Wealthier families sometimes installed secret compartments beneath stair treads or within attics that could only be accessed with knowledge of hidden latches. These hiding spots leveraged the fact that intruders focused on typical storage points like drawers and safes. For modern applications, survival enthusiasts can reinforce flooring compartments or install removable ceiling panels to store emergency gear, long-term food supplies, or even escape tools. The principle is simple. Use spaces that are functionally invisible and physically difficult to access without guidance. Kitchens and pantries were repurposed for secret storage. The kitchen, often the busiest room in the house, doubled as a clever hiding zone. Families would hide valuables behind loose bricks in the hearth, inside false backs of cabinets, or beneath the floor of the pantry. Even everyday containers like flour bins or sugar tins were modified to hold emergency cash or precious metals. The logic was that intruders rarely spent time in corners of the kitchen that seemed functional and unremarkable. Today, survivalists can emulate this approach by creating false panels in kitchen cabinets or hiding emergency food supplies behind normal-looking containers. The key is to blend security with usability so the items remain accessible to those in the know but invisible to anyone else. Walls and secret passageways offered hidden protection. During the 1940s, more ambitious families constructed hidden wall compartments or small crawl spaces behind bookshelves and paneling. These were often custom-built, using sliding panels or removable trim pieces. In some cases, staircases concealed storage under the steps, accessible only with a careful lift or release mechanism. Such spaces were ideal for storing not just valuables, but important papers or even emergency supplies for short-term survival. Modern survival enthusiasts can take cues from these designs by creating accessible yet hidden storage in their homes, particularly for items that might be targeted in a crisis or intrusion scenario. The principle remains the same, concealment integrated with the normal flow of the house. Clothing and personal items were turned into hiding spots. Closets, drawers, and wardrobes often contained more than just clothing. Families would sew pockets into clothing, hang items in inconspicuous places, or store small valuables in hollowed-out shoes. These methods exploited the intruder's expectations. Nobody checked personal clothing for hidden treasures. This same tactic can be applied today for survival kits, hidden cash, or emergency tools. For example, using hollowed-out clothing items for storage allows for portable, discreet concealment without changing the appearance of the room or raising suspicion. Outdoor spaces were used creatively. Not all hiding spots were inside the house, you know. Gardens, sheds, and backyard areas offered some pretty clever solutions. Folks would use buried containers, hollowed-out fence posts, or even loose bricks around the garden wall to provide off-site storage that was just invisible to casual intruders. Families often disguised these spots by integrating them right into everyday landscaping, like under flower beds or within compost piles. And, well, modern survivalists can use similar methods to secure water, emergency rations, or tools outdoors, all while maintaining quick access and camouflage. The key was always to avoid patterns that an intruder might recognize. Randomness and integration with natural elements were absolutely crucial. The knowledge of these hiding spots was passed down carefully. A critical factor in the effectiveness of 1940s hiding techniques was secrecy. Families limited knowledge of these compartments to just a few trusted members. Documentation was rare, and oral instructions were often, well, intentionally vague, making sure that intruders couldn't easily deduce the locations. Modern enthusiasts should consider controlled knowledge and redundancy, sharing critical storage information only with those who really need it, while keeping physical access limited. This principle applies whether you're hiding valuables, survival supplies, or sensitive documents today. Incorporating these historical strategies into modern life is not just a lesson in history, but honestly, a practical exercise in resourcefulness and planning. Furniture modifications, hidden containers, wall compartments, and outdoor caches all provide discreet, secure storage options. For history buffs and survivalists alike, understanding the subtlety and cleverness of 1940s families offers both inspiration and actionable methods that, remain relevant in any emergency or security-focused scenario. If this guide has given you new insights into how families outsmarted intruders during the 1940s, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into historical survival techniques. Share this with fellow history enthusiasts and survivalists to keep the knowledge alive and accessible. Master these tactics, and you'll carry forward the ingenuity of a generation that made security an art form.